Today we're going to be talking about navigating professional careers and also transitioning from a professional career into entrepreneurship.
Hello, I am Kehinde Falade, the host of Great Minds with Keke, where we share life experiences so that you can learn from us and also know how to navigate your life path to success. Ciao.
Hello everyone, this is Great Minds with Keke, and today on this show I have with me Marcel Williams, who has had a wonderful career in many Fortune 500 companies, and at this moment is now a founder of his own company, and he's going to be telling us how he was able to navigate these processes. And Marcel, welcome to Great Minds with Keke.
Thank you.
Yes. So to start the interview, I would like to, I searched through your details. I did research before coming on the show, and then I discovered that you started your career as an assistant brand manager in Procter and Gamble in 1990. And over the next 27 years, you were able to work in several other companies like PepsiCo, Coca-Cola. What will you say are or were the factors that helped you to successfully transition into management roles in all these companies? Because many people are dreaming to work in these companies, and I could see that you've had a wonderful professional career.
Yeah, good question, KK. And it's nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
I've had a wonderful corporate career, I must say, until it abruptly ended in 2017. But I loved the ride while I was on it. And I was very lucky with my first job at Procter & Gamble. That was in 1992. And it was a job in marketing and brand management at Procter & Gamble. And especially in those days, Procter & Gamble was marketing heaven. Any self-respecting wannabe marketer who got a job offer from Procter & Gamble would take it, because they were generally regarded as the best education, if you want, in marketing that you could get. So that to me was a very, very fortunate start, that my first job after my formal education ended was in a company that really, really trains its people really, really well. And that is a training and an education and continuation of your education, essentially, that is very highly valued by other employers. So my first tip or advice would be is think about your very first employer and make sure that is an employer that has good training programs and education where you can continue to develop yourself and add more value to what you can offer to employers that might come after that. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing that really helped me navigate all these changes, because I haven't only changed between all these companies, but also countries and continents. So Procter & Gamble and Sara Lee Dow Egberts were in Holland. Then I went to South Africa, where I joined PepsiCo in the snacks division, and then Coca-Cola, the beverages. Then I came to the UK, where I joined Nestle. Then with Nestle, the whole family packed up and went to Switzerland. Then we came back to the UK, and I joined United Biscuits, the makers of digestives and hobnobs, for example. Now, so not only different companies, but also different continents. And I think one prerequisite to do things like that is that you have to have intellectual curiosity.
Okay.
You need to be interested in learning different things and different cultures, for example, and different ways of doing things, different views of the world. You need to be open-minded, because it could be daunting to move to another country, for example. But I never saw it that way. I saw it as an amazing adventure. I loved going to all these places and getting the chance to do my thing there and see if I would succeed or not. And I never felt that I knew it all. I always felt very comfortable asking questions, because that's that intellectual curiosity that I was referring to.
Absolutely.
Wanting to understand things and why things are the way they are, and asking things with the view of understanding them, not with the view of just being difficult and asking questions for the sake of asking questions, but because you have a sincere interest in understanding why things are the way they are, why things are done the way they're done. And I have that. I like finding out about other people, other cultures, other ways of doing things, better ways of doing things, and I have a continuous desire to develop myself. So the intellectual curiosity and that sense of adventure, I think, were essential in my journey. And of course, it does require a little bit of self-confidence to do these things and to believe enough in yourself that you can succeed in a different environment, in a different company. Yeah, so I think those were the key elements that enabled me to have the career that I've had.
Okay, that is good. One thing I have taken away is we need to be open-minded and be willing to learn. And also have
Absolutely,
intellectual
absolutely.
curiosity to
Never
embrace
ever
new
think that
cultures.
you know it all, because you
Yes,
don't. You don't know what you don't know, and you'd be surprised
absolutely.
how much there is you don't know.
Okay. So after such a wonderful career, what prompted you to start your company in 2017?
Yeah, I had a wonderful career, like you said, and then in 2017, I was managing director for Asia at United Biscuits. So that's the parent company that makes hobnobs and digestives and Jaffa cakes and you name it.
Yes.
I'd done really well, and then suddenly I got told, actually, Marcel, your job doesn't exist anymore from next month onwards, because we want Asia now to be managed by an Asian person based in Asia.
Wow.
Well, I might have possibly moved to Asia, but I can't make myself Asian. So that was the end
Absolutely.
of my career suddenly, and that was a bit of a wake-up call. I'm like, oh my God, I've always done well, I've always enjoyed my work, and now suddenly, poof, it stops, and they stop paying me. So what I then said in 2017, okay, I was 52 at the time, and I said, I'm not gonna rush back into a corporate job. I am going to start building a more passive income. Because in a corporate job, of course, you work for a month, you get paid for a month. You work for a month, you get paid for a month. And every month you
Absolutely.
start from scratch again, and your salary starts from scratch. So I said, what I am going to do now is to focus more on building a passive income that is not directly correlated to the hours that I put in.
Mm,
The best way that I could think of at the time was property investments.
okay.
So in 2017, we did have some savings, and started buying buy-to-let flats basically in the UK. We now have a portfolio of 22 buy-to-let flats.
That is good.
Yeah, it's brilliant, although the interest rates are really
Absolutely.
high now, and it's not yielding as much as I had hoped, and some are doing much better than others. But of course, the downside with that is that there's a capped growth potential, because when you run out of capital to invest, you can't grow your portfolio any further.
Absolutely.
So we have invested the money that we could afford to invest, and we have mortgages on all these properties, so it's not quite as rosy as it seems. But yeah, it was building a passive income, which I wanted to do, and did that, and that's now stopped, and we've got it ongoing, but it's not growing any further because it would require more capital, which we don't have to grow it further.
Wow.
It was my search for passive income that drove.
Prompted you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much for that. So aside from starting your company, you also became a non-executive director in My Bao, a Chinese biscuit company. What prompted you to join this company as a non-executive director?
Yeah. Well, first of all, my last job, as I said, was managing director for Asia at United Biscuits, and
Mm-hmm.
that included China. China was one of the key markets. So
Okay.
I took the company back into China, and we had a whole strategic plan that we were rolling out, and that started with just exporting biscuits to China. But then after a few years, we also wanted to do some local manufacturing. So
Okay.
the products are fresher when they get to the market, and you can do packaging that is specific for that market, etc.
Absolutely.
But we didn't want to straight away invest millions and millions in building our own factory there. So we found a local biscuit company that was very, very good on hygiene standards and quality standards, etc. And they started manufacturing some digestives for us in China. And because that was my contact and my work, I developed a really good relationship with the owner of that business. And when I told him that I was leaving United Biscuits, he asked me if I wanted to join his board as a non-executive director,
Mm,
to basically help them and give them advice on how to run their business. And so not on an operational level, I'm not involved, but just as
Okay.
an advisory board
Level.
member in the background. So I go there twice a year for meetings. During COVID, that was all paused, of course. We did it all online. But now we're back to the routine again. If I go there twice per year for board meetings, and in between we have contact via email and WeChat, the Chinese version of WhatsApp. But I did that because I enjoy helping others. I've had a wonderful career for 27 years, learned a lot, and I think it would be a waste to let all of that experience and knowledge go to waste. And I
Absolutely.
enjoy helping others and using my experience for the greater good. And since they, indicated to me that they'd be interested in that, I jumped at it straight away. And I get paid for it, but I also do some other advisory work in the UK, which is pro bono, and that's with small, medium enterprises in the UK. And I just do that because I sincerely enjoy, helping other people and not make the same mistakes that I might have made in the past.
That is really good because sometimes even in the process of giving back, you also learn a lot as well, subconsciously.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely, and it's so rewarding as well, and I find it nice that to see that there's people who are interested in what I have to say. I find
yes,
it
you
very
have wealth
rewarding.
of knowledge. Like,
Yeah, I've
I
got
also
adult
want to tap into
children.
some of
Yeah.
it.
I've got adult children now, and they think I'm a dinosaur. They're not interested in my
What?
views anymore.
I would actually like to sit down, just ask questions about career projection, about all those kind of stuff.
Well,
And the
that
fact
shows
that
that you
you've,
have
yeah,
you
the fact
have
that
the
you've worked in places people dream of,
yeah.
people will really like to listen to you.
Well, yeah, that is brilliant. And you clearly have the intellectual curiosity. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. You like to hear
Absolutely.
about people and learn from people. So good on you.
Yes, thank you. Apart from that, my next question is, I discovered that 5 months ago you became a founding partner of Talent Trainer. So could you tell us a bit about this business, and if
Yeah,
it is for someone like me, what
yeah,
can I do?
yeah. Talent Trainer is an organization that I've started up with a partner in Holland to set up a network of independent sales and marketing people for a remarkable product that we've gotten to know. The product in question is made by a US biotech firm, and it is a health supplement that strengthens the immune system. And the background is really interesting. Do you happen to know what colostrum is?
No.
No, I didn't think most people, I didn't know before. But colostrum is the first substance that the mammary glands of all mammals produce after giving birth. And when I say mammals, that includes humans.
Okay.
And the main function of colostrum is to transfer, to build up the immune system of the baby really quickly, because that baby is protected in the womb. Then it comes in the big bad world, and suddenly there's viruses and infections and pollution and everything. And the baby's immune system doesn't know any of these things. And it needs to be brought up to speed really, really quickly to deal with all those threats. Now, in colostrum, there's a substance called transfer factors. Those are amino acids that were discovered in 1949 by an American immunologist. And these amino acids are responsible for transferring the immune information from the parent to the offspring. And that's why they're called transfer factors, because they transfer the immune information. And by doing so, the immune information from the immune system from the newborn immediately poof, gets up to the level that it needs to be to deal with all the threats that's exposed to now. And the beauty is that these transfer factors are interchangeable between all species. So the transfer factors that you find in cow colostrum are nearly identical to the transfer factors that you find in human colostrum.
Okay.
And the biotech company that we work with, they have more than 30 patented processes to extract these transfer factors from cow colostrum, put them in powder format so that they can be consumed or ingested by humans in pills or in powders that you can put in a drink, for example. So this is now a food supplement that educates your immune system. And your immune system gets weaker as you grow older. That's unavoidable. Everybody knows now that the older you get, the weaker your immune system gets. That's why during COVID, for example, all the over 50s were the first ones to get their COVID jabs because their immune system is not as strong as the younger people's.
Okay.
Now, and so this product, it's amazing because it's patented, it works. There's loads of scientific studies that we have about the product, that show that it works. The product is relevant because everybody knows now, especially after COVID, how important your immune system is and how terrible the consequences can be if life throws something at you that your immune system can't cope with, right? It's potentially life-threatening. The product, the potential is huge because every single person in the world is a potential consumer of this product, a user of this product, because everybody has an immune system and everybody's immune system gets weaker as they age.
Absolutely.
And lastly, it's a consumable product. So it's not like a Tupperware product where you buy one Tupperware container and it lasts for the rest of your life. No, it's a consumable product. So you buy the product, after a month you run out of product and you need to buy it again, like toothpaste.
Okay.
So once you get consumers using the product, they come back again and again and again. And we know from experiences in other countries that the repurchase rate is about 50% of these products. So that's really very high. So it's a beautiful product. And the business model is really a business model for the 21st century because it's essentially like Uber.
Okay.
Uber has an app and they use that app to make connections between people who need a ride and people who have a car. Yeah. But if that car breaks down, it's not Uber's problem. If the driver gets sick, it's not Uber's problem. But every time somebody books a ride via Uber, Uber gets a commission. Our business model is the same. We have an app and a website where the transactions take place. So if somebody is interested in this product, they go on the app or the website, they order the product, the order goes straight to the manufacturer.
Okay.
They do the order processing and the fulfillment. They put it in a box. They send it via UPS. They send an email to the customer saying, your parcel is on the way with UPS. This is the tracking number. No. We don't have anything to do with that. So all we do is make the connections between the customers and the manufacturer, and we get a commission for doing that. But we don't have anything to do with the whole hassle that comes normally with having your own business or your own website or drop shipping or you name it.
So it's more like lean business model. You don't have to pay for overhead. You don't have to pay for
lean, and all the infrastructure is provided by the manufacturer. So they do the fulfillment, the administration, the product registrations, the customs declarations, the invoicing to the customers, everything. All we do is we make the connection and we get money transferred to us, commission money transferred to us from the manufacturing company. So the customers don't pay us, they pay the manufacturing company.
Okay, that makes
sense. It's a great product with a great business model. And it brings together the two things that I really wanted to do, right? Build a passive income. That's what this is, because this is not correlated to my hours. We're building an organization that drives revenue and we get commission on everything that the organization sells. So it's largely a passive income. And secondly, I am helping thousands of people get their own, to set up their own business, because we help people to set up these businesses and they get the website from us, they get the app from us, and we hold them by the hand. Basically, we've got a sort of franchise model that describes exactly you need to do this, and this, and we have training modules, etc. So we teach people everything they need to know in order to be able to enter this business and be successful.
So do the people that want to enter this business, do they need to invest any amount of money?
No, nothing. Just some time. Like with every new business that you set up, it takes time to develop your business, right? It doesn't go overnight. But the way we have set it out for anybody that wants to get into the business, it's entirely possible to earn £1,000 recurring income, so month in, month out, in about a year. And we'll help people do that. We provide all the tools and the methods and the scripts and everything to use in order to do that. But you don't need to invest any money. It's just some of your time, and it's part-time. Depending on how fast you want to go and how big you want to go,
Mm.
it's from 5 hours a week upwards, we can work with you.
Okay, that's
No
very
capital
good.
investment.
Hopefully, people that are interested in this kind of business can tap into this opportunity and start making their passive income as soon as
Definitely.
possible.
Anybody who hears this and wants to hear more, feel free to email me if you want. My email address is talenttrainer.mw. That's my initial,
Okay,
Marcel Willems, @gmail.com. And you can also see that at the bottom of the screen. So
okay.
talenttrainer.mw@gmail.com.
I hope people that are interested are noting it down so that they can contact Marcel as soon as they are done with watching this video. So, to my next question, since you are managing this business and you are also doing advisory roles in My Bow, BD Business, and other places, how have you been managing these businesses and your family?
It's not difficult, to be honest, because everything I do is just part-time. None of
Okay.
it is full-time, and all of it is also flexible. So I can largely follow my own hours, and I play lots of tennis. I have time to do that, etc. And in terms of family, well, I said before, we are empty nesters now. Our children have flown the nest, so it's just my wife and I. And
Mm.
no, it's easy, and I really enjoy what I'm doing. The talent trainer activities and the My Bow activities, for example. I don't see it as work. They're one of the things that I enjoy doing, like playing tennis and traveling, and I can do everything easily. And as a matter of fact, we live in Watford now, but we're on the brink of moving to Portugal. We're going to retire in Portugal, selling our house
Wow,
here. Yeah, so within the next few months, I'll be doing what I'll be doing from the Algarve in the south of Portugal.
that is really cool. Like,
Yeah,
you get to live the life.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
the kind of
Worked
life people are
hard for it,
dreaming
but it's
of.
also yeah, worked hard for it.
Retire
But
somewhere.
part of it is also by design, by developing these activities that I do now on a part-time basis. That they
Mhm.
work for me, they give me satisfaction, gives me some additional income, and it's working out very nicely.
That is really good. Congratulations on that. And it's many people's dream to be able to retire to an island or a different country and just live the remaining part of their lives enjoying everything they've worked for.
Yeah.
So, since you've worked in almost all the continents, what would you advise someone that dreams of working in top companies? I know you mentioned that initially. What else do you have for someone that is just about, maybe someone that is just finishing college or university and is thinking of working in Procter and Gamble, Coca-Cola? What advice do you have?
Yeah. So is your question about those companies or about having an
The,
international
the,
career,
the,
or both?
themselves, the attributes they need.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think to honestly is in the corporate world, your qualifications are still important. If you want to be self-employed right from the beginning, less so, of course, but in the corporate world, your education and your qualifications are still important. So my first advice would be make sure that you get the required qualifications to even be considered by companies, because
Okay.
um, you know, it, qualifications don't guarantee that you will get a job, but if you want to be considered, at least the first thing they see on your CV is what your qualifications are. If you don't have the right qualifications, you won't even get a chance to present yourself. So the first thing is make sure that you have the qualifications required to do what you want to do,
Okay.
or vice versa. Go after opportunities that meet the qualifications that you have. So that's the first thing, and the second thing is be different and be interesting to employers, because they have lots of choice. They got lots of people who meet the entry level requirements of the qualifications and the education, but you need something to stand out. What is different about you, and that can be many things. And I think for me, it at the time, to give an example, it was my international background, because I did a master's degree in America, And I could have easily done that in Holland, where I grew up and where I did my undergrad. But I consciously decided, no, I want an international career. I don't want to spend the rest of my life in Holland. So I'm going to start by getting myself an education overseas. And I chose America at the time.
Okay.
So I got myself an international education, first of all. Then I've always been interested, as I said, in cultures and languages and whatever. So I speak 5 languages.
Wow.
No,
What are the
not
languages?
all as fluent as English and Dutch, but but that is something that makes people often go, oh wow, and especially if you want to work internationally and
Mm.
even though in reality 90% of all the business meetings I've ever had in any country in the world were done in English. So how practical useful these other language skills were is questionable, but the fact that I have them and they're on my CV and I can have a conversation in these languages makes me stand out. It makes me different. It makes people say,
Absolutely.
wow, that's cool. And the third one is, I mean, my wife is originally from India,
Mm.
and even something like that, I always make sure when in interviews and things, whatever, that I mention that because it shows that intrinsically I just like international things and people and cultures and all of that. And it shows that it's not just a story or whatever, not something I say, but it's actually intrinsically part of who I am, part of my DNA. So for me, that being different and standing out from the crowd is my internationalness, if you want. But it
Absolutely.
could be many things. But I'll just give the example. That's what it was for me. So it's education and qualifications. I think stand out from the pack, be different, be interesting. And the third one is show some leadership and show some initiative in the things
Mm.
that you have done. And when I first started working, I was 22 or something. So I had no work experience, but I had been coach of a children's football team, for example. That
Mm.
shows at that age, at that level, it shows, okay, this guy has some leadership experience. He has some desire to help other people and to coach people and things like that, for example. And take some initiative because employers love people who are proactive, who don't just wait for instructions and then do what they're asked to do. But no, people who raise their hands and say, oh yeah, I'll do this, or I like doing that, or oh, I can do that. So, and if you can show that in uh, areas outside work, just in your personal life, I think that goes a long way because if that's part of your personality, take an initiative and showing some leadership, and you can prove that to them with practical examples, then will give them the confidence that, okay, that's how this person is, and that person will continue to do the same thing in the work environment if we hire
Mm.
her.
Absolutely. I really agree with the leadership skills that people need because most people, I don't know, maybe it's the culture or their background, they shy away from taking initiative. They are afraid to come out of their shells. And oftentimes, people actually need people that can bring ideas and actually transform the companies, not
Yeah.
just followers, but people that can be good followers, but also good leaders at the same time. So the
Yeah.
leadership quality is actually very key. I
Exactly,
totally
and
agree with
especially when
that.
you're young, it can be a bit daunting, maybe, because if you take initiative and also initiative in groups and things like that, you could open yourself up to criticism because not everybody will like the initiatives that you take potentially,
Mm-hmm.
but well, that's a good learning. You can learn from that and grow a bit of thicker skin, and then you're able to cope with that when it happens later in the work environment. But so I'd say as soon as you can start developing some leadership activities and take initiative, organize things, do things. Yeah.
Very, very true. So, I know many people who have led professional careers spanning 10 years or more, but desire to now transition into business as you have done. What advice do you have for people like that?
Oh yeah, good question because I've of course been in that position as well.
Yes.
Well, first of my main advice is think it through really hard because the grass is not always greener on the other side. First of
Absolutely.
all, a lot of people say, I don't want to report to a boss anymore. I want to be my own boss. That is all brilliant, but even as your own boss, it doesn't mean that you are free, because you are generally, most of the time, self-employed people are still just selling hours. They work an hour, they bill an hour. They work an hour, they bill an hour. They work a week and they bill a week. So you are still a slave to your hours, if you want, and you don't really have control over your life as you
No.
think you might. So think really hard about that one. The second one, think really hard about the financial implications, and make sure that you have the financial buffer or the financial bandwidth to deal with this transition, because many people who start their own business, they will have startup costs, whether it's developing your own website or buying equipment or whatever it is. And the income that you develop from a self-employed activity doesn't come overnight. It
No.
takes time. So there will be a significant period of time without fixed income and without significant income from your new business, and that business might never take off. You don't know. So think really hard about financially what you're getting into. And the third thing to really think hard about is you might have something that you really enjoy, but in most businesses, they come with so much hassle around that has nothing to do with your passion and the thing that you love doing. And it takes the charm away completely, because you have to deal with administration, you have to deal with debtors and people who don't pay, with suppliers who don't deliver in time. You want to grow your business, maybe hire people, then you're a responsibility for people and personnel, and there's taxes, there's all sorts of government regulations to deal with. There's all this hassle around owning your own business that comes with it. Most
Absolutely.
but that's why, to me, talent trainer is such a godsend, and is literally the holy grail, because the risk reward ratio is great. There is
Mm.
very little risk. You don't need to invest anything. It's just time. The rewards are enormous because the potential of the product is enormous. The business model is very low entry. Almost anybody can do it. And the income is uncapped. As long as you keep growing your network of people, of sales and marketing people, your income keeps growing. And
Absolutely.
the income is easily scalable because it's a very low entry way to get people into this entrepreneurial opportunity. The income is uncapped. It's non-discriminatory. Your gender, your skin color, nothing matters. Now, in lots of corporate environments, there's still glass ceilings for people. That's not here, because you just build your own organization and you can go as far and as wide and as deep as you want. And it's flexible. You can do it when you want, where you want. I'm going to continue doing it from Portugal when I move there later in the year.
Mm.
And it doesn't come with any of the hassles that we just described.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it has a lot of advantages.
Yeah. And I've tried other business ideas before, but it always, in the end, I didn't go ahead with it with passion and dedication, because either it turned out to be too expensive or too difficult or too much hassle around it or whatever. There was always something, until I found this talent trainer opportunity, and that's really where all the pieces of the puzzle came together for me.
Okay, that's good. So, since you've been in business for almost 7 years now, what mistakes have you made in your entrepreneurial journey that you would advise someone like me in business to avoid?
Yeah. One is, I made some wrong investments that if I could turn back the clock, that I wouldn't make again. And particularly for those who are interested, when I started investing in property, we bought some flats in big office blocks that were converted to apartments.
Mm.
And those are leasehold flats. That means that somebody else owns the communal grounds, and
Okay.
flats are built on. And that means you have to pay ground rent and service charges to someone else. And those just easily, especially the service charges, they just spiral out of control, and you don't really have control over your investment. So, I would say don't buy leasehold flats in in big buy-to-let blocks.
Mm.
That's very specific, maybe. Um, Another mistake I made is when I started in property, I thought, wow, this is brilliant for me. And I developed some deals then with property developers, referral fees basically, where I would also talk about those investment opportunities with other people. But I saw that as selling, but really and it didn't really work very well, because what I've learned now is that when you have something that you want to interest other people in, it's not about selling, but it's about helping others or advising others, helping them find out how they can find a solution to their problems or their challenges.
Absolutely.
And that's what we do with talent trainer as well. It's not we don't consider ourselves hunters that go for the kill. We have a target and we go for the kill. We shoot to kill and sell them as many transfer factors as possible, for example, or push them down their throats. No, the way it works much more is that we are farmers basically that plant seeds. So I am fortunate that I've come across this amazing opportunity,
Mhm.
and I happily share that with other people. And if they're also interested, I'm very happy to give them more information and help them get started themselves. But that's very different than trying to hunt for people to join you or to buy your products. No, no. And I did that with the investments. I didn't
Mm.
have enough of the farming attitude, where you share something with people that you are excited about, and you plant a seed, and in the beginning, that seed, you need to water it, you need to protect it, you need to help it grow, and then eventually that seed will turn into a beautiful fruit tree that bears its own fruit.
Absolutely.
And that's a much better way of engaging with people when you have something that you think could be of interest to them, rather than trying to sell it to them too hard. And the last thing, um, what I have learned is that, and mistakes I've made, is that it is hard to find the ideal business opportunity. Uh,
Mm.
and I have wasted too much time, probably, on wild goose hunts, where I thought, this might be it. And because you also hear about grit and determination that you have when you start your own business. Don't give up too fast. But at the same time, you need to be realistic in the end and decide, okay, if this is not going to work, stop chasing it for too long, because you're wasting time basically. And yeah, I've fortunately now find the thing for me, the holy grail that really works for me, and that I think would work for a lot of people. And I'm yeah, very happy with where I am at the moment.
Thank you very much for your time, Marcel. It was a wonderful time chatting with you and getting to know all your career project progress, and the way you transition from working in a formal setting to doing business. And I'm sure many other people that are listening to this podcast will actually learn from a lot of what you've said. So I just want to thank you for taking out time to be interviewed by me on Great Minds with Keke.
You're most welcome. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And if it has been of value to even just one or two people, I'll be very happy. And feel free to contact me if you want more information.
Yes, and if you enjoyed this episode, please comment below and give us your feedback. That will also help us to do the kind of interviews to do in subsequent episodes. So thank you very much for coming on this episode of Great Minds with Keke. Marcel, have a
Enjoy your
wonderful
afternoon.
time.
Thank you for watching this episode of Great Minds with Keke. We upload new episodes every Saturday, so don't forget to subscribe. Ciao!